Briefly, I would say that in Dante's 14,200 and some odd line, he offers us today one of the most elaborate and elegant explorations of Jung's individuation process. And that's what takes place. He begins in a dark wood, confused, self-alienated, and he ends with a sensibility that his own will and the will of God, that creator who made the heavens and the earth and has them symmetrically moving, he's completely in correspondence with that. That essentially is the large outline of the poem. And Dante was a Jungian centuries before C.G. Jung. I think the Red Book follows on the heels of Dante's Divine Comedy, and it's no accident that the medieval manuscript format of the Red Book calls up the Middle Ages imagination of symmetry, order, coherence. In other words, a coherent mythos where everything is accounted for. And I think today, in our fractured society, people are hungry to recapture a feeling of wholeness in themselves. And the poem then becomes our Virgil, our Beatrice, so that we can be guided by the poem. Dante becomes our mentor, and we follow along. And here's the most important piece, is that he invites us into a rich symbolic world and tells us our story by analogy. And Jung believed that analogy was the fundamental law of the psyche. So to read Dante is to enter a Jungian cosmos, moral, mythic, psychological, physical. I mean, the body is one of the main characters in Dante's poem. The infernal body, the purgatorial body, and the paradisal body. So it's a poetic exploration of what it means to be an embodied human being, and so many others. The reader is one of the main characters in the poem. So it's about reader participation, a kind of an interpretive journey on our part as Virgil, Beatrice, St. Bernard, and the Blessed Virgin are presences that help Dante interpret what he's seeing by means of this awakened imagination in himself. So I think one of the major points is, how does the imagination aid us in constructing a reality that helps us to feel coherent, of a peace, leading a life of purpose, leading a life in which the Grail, in whatever form that takes, is the goal. But the process of the journey itself is the analogy that all of us are participating in every day of our lives. Every day is a new chapter, we could say. And what it does is awakens a deeper consciousness in the reader as Dante's consciousness is being awakened further and further, both by the hopeless realm of the isolated infernal souls and the communal soul of the purgatorial figures and the paradisal celestial bodies, but never losing our incarnational reality. And we just accept the fact that the Catholic Church ran the engines of the medieval myth. But that can be understood psychologically and not uh, not push us into guilt, damnation, the seven deadly sins. I think we can speak about all of that from a psychological and mythic perspective. So I think what is valuable, in addition, is the mythic consciousness that I believe will be awakened in every individual who signs up and enters this interpretive journey that we're going to do together without me lecturing. It's going to be participatory and analogical. That's the key.